What up, T Squad? So the Braxtons have officially returned to WETV. Last night, the season 1, episode 1 premiered, and it was a very emotional episode. Like, I cried the whole way through. If this episode was indicative of what we're going to get for the rest of this season, I don't know if I'm able to make it. I just simply don't know. It was bringing up too much for me. But we begin with it being 2 days before the family does grief counseling because their beloved sister Tracy Braxton passed away 2 years ago from esophageal cancer. And of course everybody's been reeling from it and just trying to cope with their new normal. So we first catch up with Trina and her husband Vaughn, who have been married now for 5 years. She's very leery on doing the show because she would have thought that Tracy's passing would have brought her and her sisters closer, but they haven't really been that close since her passing. Trina says that Tracy's son, look, Kevin, doesn't really speak to his father, and she's not going to say anything bad about Big Kevin because he's grieving too. He lost his wife. Everybody handles grief differently. Hopefully, prayfully, they've gotten things back on track or will in the future because they need each other now more than ever, and that's unfortunate that look, Kevin doesn't have a solid relationship with his father right now. The girls are going to have dinner together and Tony has something to tell them. And Trina is like, what could it be? Because, Tony is very secretive about her life. She doesn't really open up that much. So she's just like, what could it possibly be? So Tony, we find out, has recently had to get a stent put in her heart because she was having issues with it. The girls knew about that, but they don't know about other things that have come out of that situation. The girls and their mom, Miss Evelyn, get together for dinner and they're just talking about life in general. And Tamar made a really funny joke about she is tired of living in Lemon Pepper Island in Atlanta because it's all about lemon pepper wings and hookah. That's all everybody talk about, do, and everything. And that was just so funny because that is just a personification of Atlanta, lemon pepper wings and hookah. We also learned that since the show has been gone, that Tony is no longer engaged. She's not in a relationship, but she kind of is. It's very iffy on where things really stand with Tony and Birdman. I don't really know what's going on with that because her answer was like iffy. For real. It seems like they still deal with each other, but they're in that gray stage, probably in the relationship. We find out that the last season of the show, during quarantine, when they celebrated Tony's birthday, Tracy was actually sick then, like she was having symptoms and stuff like that. And shortly after, that's when she found out that she had cancer. And y'all know I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm actually having my 3rd year mammogram since my surgery in a few weeks. It's always a stressful time of the year for anybody that has had breast cancer. So I've been a little on edge gearing up for that. I have not yet reached my 5-year mark. So just seeing all of what Tracy went through in her last days and how frail she was and everything just made me just cry. It made me just boohoo cry, because even though I'm technically okay, I'm still on cancer medication that I have to take every day. And I have to get regular checkups with my doctors. It's always in the back of my head every day that what if it comes back? Or, I'm thanking God that I'm still alive because I could be dead. It could have been worse. Like, it never goes away. And to see how her cancer affected her is just so scary. It's so scary. And she had only one child. I have only one child. She was very close to her son. I'm very close to my son. He's literally my best friend. And, I just wanted to live for him. So it just touched so close to home. And to see all of that footage just made me just cry. It was just so sad. So Tony said in her confessional that it's hard for me to digest, Tracy being gone because she was the sick one, not Tracy. And I think that maybe Tony might feel a little guilt, considering that she's the oldest. She was the sickly one. Like, why did this have to happen to Tracy? Like, why is it me? It's kind of like almost survivor's remorse, I think, with Tony. So Evelyn feels like Trina needs the grief counseling the most because she was there the day that Tracy took her last breath, which I know had to be so hard for her. Tony asks about Lil Kevin, and Tawanda, who arrived wearing the same dress that Trina wore, which was so funny, lets them know that he's getting a divorce from his wife. And everybody is shocked, especially Tamar, because she says that she talks to little Kevin often, sees him often, and it was never brought up to her. So you can tell she was kind of like, well, dang, like he ain't tell me nothing, But you can see also on her face that she wasn't trying to take it personal. And hopefully she did not. And it's gotta be extremely hard for that young man. He lost his mama. Now him and his wife are going through what they're going through. He doesn't have a strong relationship with his father. Like, I feel so sorry for that young man. So Tony reveals to her sisters that she'll have to have a bypass surgery at some point because if she has a heart attack, she will in fact die. That is what the doctors have told her. And she was like, she's constantly scared, like that any day anything could happen to her. She could have a stroke and then she's gone. And what about her sons? And she just cries. And I loved how everybody rallied around her and hugged her and spoke life into her. And it was a sad but very poignant moment. And I feel so bad for Tony and everything that she's had to go through health wise. She at that point was about to start the tour with Cedric the Entertainer that they're doing in Las Vegas. I mean, their Las Vegas residency. So it was her first time getting on stage in the last 4 years. And, it's just hard. It's so hard. So Tawanda and Trina link up and they talk about how Tawanda has alopecia. Everybody was asking, like, is she sick? What's going on with her? Why did she cut her hair off? And it was actually because she has alopecia. And they showed a clip of Tracy in her last days where she was just rubbing Tawanda's head. This is before she shaved it off. And we saw that, she had, patches of hair missing and how she would just rub into Tawanda's head. And it was just such a beautiful moment, and how she, not encouraged so much, but, gave her blessing, like, yeah, you should cut it off. Like, who cares what people think? And I think she looks beautiful with her hair bald. I think she looks gorgeous. Like, why try to hide it with wigs and all of that stuff? Who want all that mess on your head? Like, it was just very poignant to me. So Tawanda and Trina call Lil Kevin because Trina said that, he's been on her mind, and they call him, and he said that he just gotten his hair redone and retwisted by his wife, and that she was the one that filed for divorce, and she's going back and forth. What, do she want a divorce? Do she not? So he don't really know where things stand. So that boy got just a lot going on in his life. And they tell him about the grief counseling, and he says that he's been wanting to do that. So the day of the grief counseling, you have all the sisters, Mama Evelyn, you have their father on FaceTime, and you have little Kevin on FaceTime. And it seemed like nobody wanted to talk. Nobody wanted to go first. Nobody wanted to engage for it. It seemed like everybody was really scared. And that's kind of like where we left off on things. So with the trailer that they showed at the end of the episode, it looks like we're gonna have fun times and all of that stuff. Cause baby, this episode was too heavy for me. Too heavy for me. But it was great seeing the girls back together. The few times that they did have funny moments were just great and touched my heart so much. I'm happy that WeTV has done right by them this time. All of the girls, including Trina, have executive producer credits, and Tamar has a production credit with her own production company logo at the end, which was great. I'm happy for the girls. They're getting the money that they deserve and everything, and I pray that people support the show and run those views up. I'm going to give the first episode for the Braxtons. I'm going to give it, I can't even say I'm going to give it an A. You know what I'm saying? It was a wonderful episode. That's what I will say. So if you didn't get a chance to tune in, tune in. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.